What's going on, guys? Craig here. I got another video for you today. This one is a pretty special commission I have finally finished up. This has been kind of a work in progress for quite a number of months now. This is an Obi Wan commission that I've been working on. That's actually kind of a 2-3 part video and commission, because we have two of the Korbanth KR or Obi Wan Episode 4 lightsaber hilts. One of them weathered, one of them unweathered. We also have an Obi Wan Episode 3 Korbanth hilt that is uninstalled, that I'll talk about in a second here, as well as the GOTH master chassis for this saber. I'm pretty excited because, like I said, when this chassis came out, I really wanted to get one of them done, and so I got this commission pretty shortly after the release of it. So, like I said, it was awesome to get working on it and get going with it. So real quick on the Episode 3 Saber right here. This was just purchased by the customer as a way to kind of have, a little of a collection going. This is uninstalled because obviously it is a different hilt, different chamber. The way the button setup works is different. Obviously different. You can see the difference in the size of the necks, also, the grenade section and everything like that. So all that is completely uninstalled. So that's going to be set to the side, but that is going to the customer. So let's get into the actual saber itself. So like I said, we have two basically identical hilts, the only difference being the weathering. And then we have the chassis itself, which I'll turn on.
It's just bad these days.
So you kind of have the whole spectrum here. We have the 10 LED bar graphs that go up and down both sides of the chassis, which are my favorite feature. You have a full crystal chamber, as you can see here, that comes right here, and it opens up like so, which reveals your crystal, obviously. You have an OLED port right there, OLED screen. You have your kill switch right here. You have a full 28mm speaker, and on the other side, you have your battery, your buttons, and then this entire, get a better handle here, section lifts off if needed in order to program the saber. One real quick note is that the saber will come with just a very thin ribbon cable charger. These are somewhat sensitive, but as you can see, it is a 90-degree bend in the ribbon. So if for some reason you are ever programming this essentially just pops right in to your connector there, and you can see underneath here is your SD card, and so you would just pop that out, toss on some sound phones, and you'd be good to go. And then this latches on just magnetically. Real quick, you can see that, let's get a little into point with here, that all of the connections are covered in liquid tape. This is just to protect them so that they do not short out against the back of the cover, because as soon as you press down on them, it was shorting out beforehand. So I just kind of did that as a protection. It's kind of more just like a little bit of a small design flaw, but it is what it is, and we took care of it so that you should not have that issue anymore. If you ever do have that issue, obviously just let me know and I will walk you through how to add a little bit more of the protected tape, but it won't ever cause any major issues. So we're going to get to turn this on. One thing that is also kind of cool is that this is featuring KSith Just Ben font, which is his take on the Obi Wan Kenobi television show TV font. So if you are at all concerned about like spoilers or something, if it's for friends and stuff like that, just know that there are certain features that include quotes from the show and stuff like that. So if for some reason you have not watched it yet, that is something that this does feature. So I'm going to get it booted up right now. So let's see here.
Obi Wan Kenobi.
Change fonts. Let me go back here.
General Kenobi.
Okay, we'll start from the beginning. So this is an Episode 3 sound font. Let's see. We got the full illuminated, your different features of the bar graph. You do have the spinning crystal chamber, if you can kind of see that right there. I have programmed the chamber to spin differently on every single font, just to kind of give some variety to the age of the saber. And you also have a bar graph with the battery level indicator, so right now you're almost full. You are able to slide this open again. Obviously, don't grab into the chamber, and then close that when need be. So you're there's some of the cool features there. Turn this off. Go to the next font.
Hello there.
So it's another episode 3.
Kenobi.
So this is I have 2 versions of kind of different fonts on here to add some variety. So this is like the first version of the Obi Wan Kenobi TV show. And for this one, you can actually, if you hold it upward and hold the power, which is the lower button, you will get your track, which in this case is the conversation between Anakin and Obi-Wan at the end of the show.
Anakin's gone. I'm what remains.
So I'm not going to play the whole thing just out of, respect. But obviously that is the whole conversation that goes on there. So you can listen to that. That is considered your song or your track. And then you have your ignition. So this one, the chamber is moving a little bit slower because I made the assumption that the chamber would move slower as if you wandered around the desert for some time. But again, all of your features. Hold for force sounds, turn it off.
It's just bad these days.
Again, same font. So a lot of these sounds with this one, the chamber actually does not rotate. So again, just another kind of add different features and stuff to make it feel like more of a, a lifelike prop.
Ben Kenobi?
And the Ben Kenobi font, it spins extremely slow. Again, because the Saber would be really old at this time, when he had been out in the desert for 30-something years. I figured, it's going, but it's barely chugging along. So that's kind of the idea I went with here. Hit the button there. So I'm going to quickly pop it in a Saber here, just so you can kind of see how it works and how it fits in. The way that it was designed is that the fit within the hilt is pretty spot on. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to move this one aside and go with just the weathered hilt. So one thing that we do want to note is you can open up the beer tab, unscrew. You can unscrew from the pommel, but I say unscrew from the booster. Sorry guys, I had to cut the video off there for a second. I went to start up and the battery was actually almost dead. I had a wrong one in there and stuff like that. So anyways, let's get back to this. So as I kind of was talking about, we have the whole chassis here set up. I said cool accent lights, all that good stuff. I've kind of gone over the outside of the chassis. So now I want to fit in it within the Saber. So what you have to do is, when you take the Saber, you want to make sure that these buttons, they screw into the hilt from the outside ledge, but this inner piece also connects to the plunger that is inside. It's hard to see without the proper light, but it kind of, the plunger, if you can see that moving in there, there it is. So it will screw into this section, so it kind of creates its own locking mechanism. So if it's not screwed in all the way, it'll interfere with the buttons on the chassis. So you want to make sure that this should be able to just slide right in, and you see that your buttons work nice. And then sometimes when you're screwing the pommel in, it'll adjust the chassis. So what we're going to do is we'll kind of go through all of that. So that's working.
It's just bad these days.
And that's working. So we'll take here, lock this guy in, nice and tight, close that down, and now see how sometimes the button's not working. So what you sometimes have to do is pull off. Sorry, I'm going to pull it away because of the squeaking. Sometimes you just have to pull off just the pommel and adjust just that little turn there. Makes a big difference, because the way that the chassis locks in is there's a lip in here and a lip at the bottom of the booster that compress it together, and then I give it one final good little lock.
Ben Kenobi?
And all my buttons are working just nice. So for the sake of not doing the squeaking on the video, I'm not gonna screw this back on right now. But anyway, so now your chassis is locked in the Saber. All's looking good. So again, you got your power, your auxiliary, nice and bright emitter. Let's see, toss the blade in the end here. So I'll pop right there. So you get your nice blade like this. You know, with those all sorts of effects. Get your lock up. Also, you have the ignition that will go up and down the blade in order, which is real nice.
Hello there.
Change fonts.
Kenobi.
And every color is slightly different to kind of go with
It's just Ben. Ben Kenobi?
the colors that I think should work best with his blade at the time. Obviously, this is packed full of all of your standard Proffie 2.2 features, and I will send a copy of the button, how do I phrase it, the button like combination, stuff like that with the Saber, so you kind of have all that, because there's so much that goes into these. There's your standard clash, lock up, swing, blaster block. You have different modes where you can activate blaster block, battle mode, you can change colors and all these different things, but there's also ways to like add, delete, copy fonts. And so what we're gonna do is I'm gonna send you a nice itemized list that goes through all of the options you have. And then from there you can kind of learn the Sabers you want to, make changes if you need to, etc. So, there we go, put that guy here, this guy there. Okay. So we have both of these. The chassis goes into the other Saber the exact same way. It's the two Sabers are identical, so I'm not going to waste time doing that. But basically each emitter has the pre-installed NeoPixel LEDs, and then you just have to slide the chassis in. So it's kind of a 2-for-1 install type deal. So anyways, I really hope you love your Saber. Like I said, I have been enjoying working on these. They've been a lot of fun. It's one of my favorite builds, my favorite hilts, and I actually have one for myself that I will give a little preview of since you've stuck around this far. And let's just say that this version of the Obi Wan Kenobi Saber isn't quite as pretty. It might have seen better days. So just something, a little preview for something you guys will be seeing in the next couple of weeks. So that is a work in progress. So anyways, guys, like I said, I appreciate it. I know it's been a while since I released a video, but I appreciate all the support and all the love. And like I said, it's going to be a kind of a busy end of the year for me as I am getting married. But I will be working on Sabers whenever I can. And until then, I will talk to you guys later.